on, my fellow gamers, and welcome to today's video. My name is Torch, and today we are on episode 3 of the Farm Wars tutorials. Today we will be taking a look at wool farms. We've got your standard 16 cell dispenser design, we've got one by Silent Whisper, and we have a stackable one that I came up with off of a design by Ian X04 that requires 0 rails, and again, you can actually stack this as high as you want to go. Starting out, we're going to start off with the standard design. You're going to need 16 dispensers, 16 observers, 30 rails, 2 powered rails, 2 blocks of redstone, 2 chests, 2 hoppers, 16 building blocks of your choice, 32 glass, 16 redstone, as many shears as you wish to put into your dispensers, a hopper minecart, and for tutorial purpose I am using a sheep spawn egg to load the actual farm. So we are going to start out by placing down our 16 dispensers, not our observers, our 16 dispensers in a crisscross pattern. Alright, once we have our 16 dispensers down, we are going to then come behind our dispensers and knock out these 2 blocks under each dispenser. Alright, when we hit the end, we are going to then start placing in our observers. Now we want that little red dot to be facing us. Alright, once we actually hit the end, we are going to take some of the blocks that we had dug up, and we are going to put them directly behind our observer. Okay, once we have the blocks replaced, we are going to come back with our redstone dust and place one behind each dispenser. Alright, once that is done, you are pretty much done with the redstone portion, except for the rails underneath. Now, we have an observer under each dispenser that is watching the block in front of it. Anytime a sheep eats the grass off the block, that observer will detect the block update because the block changed from a grass block to a dirt block. That signal is then sent back to this grass block right here that powers this redstone that powers this dispenser, causing it to shear the sheep. When the grass grows back, it will again fire and shear the sheep. Now we're going to pull out our glass, start right here, move up at an angle. You want to have 3 diagonally. From there, we're going to come in and start running in that crisscross pattern just in front of the dispensers. Okay, once we are done there, we're going to go ahead and jump up on the glass, and we are going to crouch place our building blocks on top of our dispensers. Once we're done with that, we are going to grab our secondary pieces of glass, come back and finish setting a second level of glass on top. This is basically creating the holding cells for the sheep. Now, at this point, you are actually ready to load your sheep into the farm. If you are doing this in survival mode, I suggest using slabs or trapdoors to cover each individual hole, and putting a weight up here and using wheat to guide your sheep. As you load your sheep, just swap your trapdoor or place a slab on top temporarily so that you're not having multiple sheep fall into the same hole. Alright, now we have all 16 of our sheep. We are going to go ahead and move our rails, our redstone blocks, chests, and hoppers down to our hotbar. Now, one thing that I do myself is I will knock out those blocks right there just to mark where my rail line needs to line up with. But we are going to come down here, just diagonal of the end piece of redstone. We're going to come down 3 blocks. And I know that my rail has to run on these 2 lines. So we're just going to go ahead and dig down a 2x2 area until we do not see any more of our observers. Alright, once we have it all dug out and we are at the end of our observers, we should have a 17x3 room. That is going to give us room to set our dirt in, starting right down here. We're going to come back and lay in a line of that dirt. Now, right just under that observer, go ahead and place on a redstone block with a powered rail. You are then going to run regular rails down both sides all the way to the end. Go ahead and lay in a double chest right here. Put your hoppers in and create yourself a little pathway back around the front of that chest. We're then going to take our regular rails, crouch place on top of your 2 hoppers, and bring your line of dirt back down again, matching your redstone block next to your other redstone block. And just go ahead and fill that all back in with dirt. Place your standard rails down, powered rail on top of the redstone block. Just like that. And these 2 are actually a block off. We want to move them over by 1. So we're going to put that there, that there. Make sure to put a single powered rail, then a rail, single powered rail, then a rail. Now, I found the easiest way to get your hopper mine cart onto the track is just create yourself a small little pocket right over here. Put 2 blocks, rail, rail, powered rail, powered rail, and you can actually use a button or a redstone torch. In this case, I'm going to use a redstone block directly underneath of my powered rail right there. Put my hopper minecart on it, and up and off it goes. It actually has enough power to loop back around, hit those powered rails, and continue the cycle. We can fill that pocket back in. Come back this way, and I actually need ladders. And placing our ladders, and there we go. And that is the standard farm done. You can actually replace these 2 blocks with grass blocks again. The more grass blocks you have around the sheep's grass blocks, the faster the grass will grow back. Alright, now this design is done by Silent Whisper. I will leave a link down in the description so you can see his view on how he does it. This one you're going to require 8 dispensers, 4 observers, 16 glass, 2 blocks of redstone, 2 powered rails, 6 regular rails, 3 building blocks, and 12 redstone ducks. And you will require probably about a stack of grass blocks or dirt blocks, but you will have to make stair steps to get the grass blocks to actually grow up. Alright, so we are going to start out by placing a single grass block right there. Now, you can theoretically dig underneath. Like, I could come down here, pop that out, and put a lever right there to power my powered rails. So you essentially do not need 2 redstone blocks. You can use a lever on the bottom side of this block. But we're going to put our 2 powered rails right there. Leave that empty for a minute because we actually have to put in our collection chest with the hopper and then a rail on top. Now, on top of the rails, we are going to place our grass blocks or dirt blocks. Again, if you have dirt blocks or you are using dirt blocks, you will have to stair step your dirt blocks up and let the grass naturally go up onto this platform to create the actual grass. We are going to put a grass block right there. Yeah. All right. From there, we are going to come off by one block as a temporary block, knock that out. Then we are going to wrap this entire square in an additional layer of grass or dirt. Put a glass block right there. All right, then we want our observers facing in right here into these 3 grass blocks on this lower level. Then we're going to take 3 solid blocks and place them right there. Take 3 redstone dust right there. Then we're going to come up and you want an observer watching that redstone line right there. Go ahead and put glass right there. Put a temporary block right there. Then we're going to grab our dispensers. And we're going to go around in a circle. Now, the loading process for this on Bedrock and Java are entirely different. Bedrock users actually have it a lot easier with this form than Java users do. The reason for that, as I will show you here in a second, is on Bedrock. They can actually move a dispenser with a sticky piston. Java users, we cannot. All right, for my Java users, we are going to come down here, remove that glass, that block, and that block. Grab yourself a water bucket. Place it right there. Use some temporary blocks to make yourself a little channel. Just like that. And then get 2 sheep and push them into the water channel. Now I say 2 sheep because that's just the easiest way of doing it. Once we have that, we can put that glass back, which is going to kill the water stream, and put that dirt or grass block back. Remove those temporary blocks right there, and now you have yourself 2 sheep within the pen. Grab a trapdoor. You can get yourself a trapdoor, break out that central block right there, and place your trapdoor right there. You can then create a small stair step up. And then if we get some wheat, not white, if we get some wheat back in our hand, you'll notice that the 2 sheep come over to you, and then you can breed the 2 sheep into multiple sheep within the farm itself. Just make sure to close the trapdoor or else the babies will jump out. And before you actually start breeding the sheep, make sure you put your hopper minecart in. Makes it a lot easier versus doing what I'm having to do right now. Because if you put your hopper minecart on, before you do this level, you can actually get it to start going prior. And then we need to come back this way. Get rid of that. Run a piece of redstone dust there. You will want a solid block. Where'd my blocks go? Right there. Redstone dust there. And just sprinkle your redstone dust across all the observers, or all the dispensers, right through here. And that is that one complete. Almost complete, I apologize. You actually want to encase this lower end down here around your rails with glass. Skip over your chest so you can still access it. And do not worry about putting any grass underneath the observers, as it will not do anything but turn to dirt. Alright, now if we move over to the stacked version of the farm, this is the first farm over there without the rails, but stacked on top of itself. Now, I did reduce some of the cost. This is an optional feature. I only used 8 observers, a single hopper, 2 chests, still need the 16 dispensers, 8 redstone dust. You will need 2 buckets of water, a fence gate, 50 glass, and 3 stacks of building blocks. Now, in order to get this to be stackable, you will need a piston and a button. I am not going to do the 16 on the bottom and 16 on top. These materials are for this one right here. This is an 8 and 8. But as you can tell, it can be a 16 and 16. So we are going to start out by placing down 8 dispensers. Let me actually move that back a little bit. We're going to start out by placing down 8 dispensers in that crisscross pattern. Just like before, we're going to do our diagonal line. Just like that. Go ahead and place additional glass on top. Grab some of our building blocks, because we are going to need a temporary block on top of each of these. Just like that. Actually, you can actually leave that glass there. So at this stage, we are ready for our sheep. Put our observers there for now. So we're going to load our sheep into the compartment. We are going to grab our observers, and much like we did on farm number 1, and this is the optional part, because you can technically use all 16 observers to increase the efficiency of the farm. However, I was trying to lower costs, so under every forward dispenser, you will put an observer facing forward. We'll go ahead and put our grass blocks back in, and a single redstone dust, just like that. Now again, I could go back and put an observer in redstone dust. It will still work the same. It's just more efficient to have observers under all the dispensers, because right now it is relying on these 4 front sheep to fire the dispenser. Now, once we have our sheep in we want to place a piece of glass in the openings and in front of all of our building blocks. We then want 2 temporary blocks and a piston facing down. Alright, once we have a piston over the glass, if you're doing it individually, you'll simply stick your button on the piston, press the button. That sheep is now locked into that cell. As you can see, it's still capable of eating the grass. It will not die because it cannot suffocate in the glass because it is a transparent block. Alright. Once we have all the sheep locked into place, we are going to come back and start filling some of this in with glass. We want glass on these upper levels to make a nice rectangle. Just like that. Then we are going to run a line of glass right here. Another line of glass right there, and we are going to take our 2 water buckets and we're going to dump them right there, which causes a water stream to come down to right here. Now you very quickly want to do this. You want to break that glass and place your chest. Break that glass and place a hopper. Break that glass and place a hopper. So now, anytime those sheep are sheared, the wool will actually get pushed up through the glass into the water stream over and into your collection. Now, to add on the second layer, you want to get some grass blocks and fill this level right here with grass blocks. Now, you can use dirt blocks, but again, you will have to stair step up in order to get grass onto those blocks for the actual sheep. Now, this cell right here, we're going to want to put down a fence post right there, and you'll see why here in just a little bit. So let's flip back over to our observers and our dispensers. Make sure that you are lining up your dispenser with where you originally put your first one. And as you can see, I did that absolutely backwards. Well, no, excuse me. Yeah, you want your upper level to start forward and end backwards. So we're going to knock that out, place an observer there, observer there, observer there, and observer there. Go ahead and then replace your grass block. Put your redstone dust in. Bring your glass 2 forward right there. Leave your fence post. Bring it up by 1. And then crisscross pattern. Just like that. And again, in order to get the sheep up, you can either make yourself a water stream that shoots them up, or just get yourself a set of steps that goes up. but we're going to drop our sheep into our holding cells. Take our blocks, place glass just like that. And then if you have scaffolding or anything and you're doing this in survival, it would make it a bit easier to kind of branch off. I mean, you can put blocks down, give yourself somewhere to stand over here. But again, I'm going to do this the fast way by putting in my pistons face down above the glass that I just put in. Now, this fence post that is right here, and actually needs to be right over here, is to hold this sheep in place. Because our water stream will come all the way down. Alright, so we actually had to move that fence post from here to there. Now, this glass needs to stay there until we push this glass down to lock that sheep into place. So let's go ahead and do that now. If you want to see the results of each farm, please head over and watch the freely break Farm Wars that video one piece of glass. Leave that fence post there. And then you're going to want to break that piece of glass. Because on that one back there, I've actually got the dispenser forward. So the fence post was supposed to go right there. But this fence post stops the sheep from popping out and still allows for the wool to actually come down into the collection area. Then we're going to finish making our rectangle. Put in our glass. Grab our water bucket. And then one thing I do recommend doing on the top area is kind of encompassing the drop point and building a wall down to ensure that the wool actually ends up in the hoppers. Came out one too far. And there you have it, a 16-celled stacked wool farm. Now, if you guys found anything in this video helpful or want to see more Farm Wars tutorials, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you wish to discuss Minecraft, Minecraft Farms, Minecraft Redstone, or any other game for that matter, then I will leave a link to my Discord down in the description. It is a place where you can connect with other gamers such as yourself. But until next time, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Goodbye for now.